Hi everyone, I'm Nicola Osborne and I'm the MediaHub Service Manager, and I'm going to be leading today's webinar. Okay, so we'll be talking about the MediaHub iOS app today. I'm here with my colleague Viv Mayo, who introduced us very briefly before, and she'll be sort of checking the text comments to make sure that we can answer any questions as they come in. So questions are fine at any point, but I'll specifically ask for some later on as well. So as I said, I'm Nicola Osborne, I'm MediaHub Service Manager, and I also do some digital education work here at MediaHub. There's Edina, sorry, looking at MediaHub logo. And Viv here is from user support, so hence answering all of your excellent questions. So today's webinar we're going to do an introduction to the new MediaHub iOS app, which I hope you've all had a chance to have a wee look at, or at least find out a bit about. We'll give a bit of an overview of the features, what you can do with the app. There'll be a bit of a demo. Now, we were hoping to do it live from a phone, but we've been right up to the wire trying to get our software that does demos to work properly, and I'm afraid it's just not behaving today. So we'll show you a little video and I'll talk through the video as it's running. But if you've got any questions, we can then sort of show that as well. We'll have some discussion of how you might use the app in your own teaching, learning or research, or how you might support other people to do that. And like I said, questions, comments, we've got welcome throughout, but there'll be a bit at the end as well, ready for you to ask anything that's pressing on your mind about. So first thing is, we have a new iOS app. How do you download it? You go to the iTunes store and you'll find it there. It's free to download, there's no advertising in it, and it's totally easy to use, I think, but you need to start off by logging in with an institutional login. So it's free and it's no advertising, but you need to have a login for MediaHub, a UK Federation login. So if you haven't got that set up for your institution at the moment, but you are subscribing, then give us a shout and we'll help you get set up with that. So go to the iTunes store, you download it, click the button, or you can go to the MediaHub blog and there's a button there as well. And you should get something that looks very much like the picture on screen. So first questions first, have you tried out the app already? So I've got a poll for you, I think Viv's about to set live, I hope. Yes, fantastic. And I want you to tell me if you've downloaded and tried out the app. If you downloaded it but haven't had a chance to try it yet, a lot of my colleagues, I think that would be the case when we first tried it out. If you haven't had a chance yet, or if you don't have an iOS device. Okay, just waiting for a few more to come in, I think.
Just give it another second or two. We've got quite a good response rate though.
Good. So those that have downloaded and tried it do appear to be in zero, in the minority certainly. And a few of you have downloaded it but haven't had a chance to try it out yet, which is fine. So hopefully after today you'll have an idea of what to do next. And a lot of you haven't tried it yet or don't have an iOS device, and I'll come back to that a bit later on, but we are building one at the moment for Android as well, which hopefully will cover a lot of those of you that don't have an iOS device. Okay, so once you download the app, you go into this first screen that will show up, and that'll tell you what app you're in and has a login button. When you tap on that, it will ask you to log in via the UK Federation. And so that means, you know, your institutional log into, in my case, Edina, in your case, whichever college or university you're from, and type in your details. And you have to do that once every 3 months. So once you've logged in once, you're all set to go. Next time you tap on the app, you can just go straight in and search and discover stuff. As I mentioned, any problems or questions about UK Federation, just let me know. So what can you do with the app once you've got it and you've logged in? You can browse the featured content. This is the stuff that we show on our front page every month, so it's about to change over again for September at the moment. But these are sort of interesting items that we've highlighted from the collections. You can browse the most popular items, so the stuff that other people are looking at and searching for. You can search for MediaHub content. You can preview and view MediaHub items once you search for them. And you can favourite MediaHub items for later use, and we're really excited about that because that links up with your login on the website, which was perhaps a slightly more difficult thing to build than one would automatically assume, but is really useful. So it means that while you're on the bus you can be picking stuff out for what you're going to use in your teaching the next week, and then when you're next back at your machine you can download all videos and put them into your virtual learning environment or whatever your setup is. And you can share MediaHub items from within the app as well. At the moment, that's only in certain channels, but I'll talk about it in a second. So, browsing featured content. This is featured content from a little bit earlier in the year, because you all know what the featured content is this month. This is more exciting because these are some of the stuff that was a couple of months ago, rather than the ones in the future. So you can explore highlights from our collection, and that's the same stuff that you'll see on the front page of MediaHub. And you'll see that each one has a preview image, a little note of the title and what collection it's from, so the collection shows up just underneath the preview image. Ooh. Apologies, I'm using a touchscreen computer and I don't usually, so my waving at the computer has caused some trouble. And you can see it shows the year here on the highlights screen. And you can see there's a little icon there, the standard icons you'll be used to from around MediaHub for image, film or sound. So you can click on any item and you go into the full record, or you can just kind of browse through the list, and it works like it would, you'd expect any app to work, so you can kind of page through it with your finger and tap on things to go back and forwards. So eventually you could also browse the most popular item, and I think if I go to the previous screen you'll see that down at the bottom of the app you have featured, most popular, search, favourites and search settings at the bottom of the screen there. So for most popular you tap on most popular and you get this screen, which at the time of us taking these screenshots a little bit earlier in the year included the Lal Kafir images in Pakistan and Daily Rush's compilation, I think, of some flooding by the looks of it. So you can see the most popular items that are currently being looked at. Those will be a different list right now, I'm sure, because I happen to know what's our most popular list at the moment, because we've just got a new blog post in preparation. So you can look at either the most popular items or the most popular searches. Just tap on items at the top of the screen to look at the items, or searches to look at the most popular searches. And as with the website, this reflects the most popular things over the last 30 days across all users of MediaHub. If you're interested in looking at an item in more detail, again, you can tap on it and you can view the full record and favourite it or share it. I think it's quite a fun way to find through our stuff in our content, because it's always interesting to see what's popular and why, or guess at why it might be popular anyway. So have a wee look at that. Now the other thing that you can do, which is probably the more likely to be useful if you're not just trying to have a browse of what's available, you can do your searching of MediaHub content within the app. And you can do that either with keywords or with phrases, and that will search through all of the collections that you have access to within the app, which is all of the JISC licensed content and also some of our bigger external collections as well. It's not quite all of the external collections, just try and make it a little bit more manageable on the small screen, but the ones we think are most useful we've put in there for now. So you can also click on the search settings, little cog at the bottom of the screen, to switch on your preferences. So you can choose whether you want to filter by format, so just look for videos, just look for images, just look for audio, or some combination of those. You can choose whether to include external collections at all, which if you know you definitely want to be able to download, not just link to something, might mean you might switch off the external collections in the first case, or if you want to limit how many results you get, if it's a very kind of common search term, you might want to limit them down a bit. And you can also choose how your search results are ordered, so you can choose to order them by relevance, by title, or by distance from your location. And as you might expect on a mobile phone, it will take your current location from your device. So if you pick that, you can choose to either go with that current location, or you can actually choose a different location by sort of tapping on a map and dropping a pin, and you can edit what kind of distance from your location you want. So if you're interested in finding out if you're in a kind of particularly historic spot, or you're wanting to do something that's very specific to the location you're going to be doing some teaching in, perhaps, you can just start from there as you're find out what relevant content is available in that space. So quite fun on the move, actually. Slightly more fun than when you're at the desktop and it's always the same location. So once you've searched for something, you'll get a results screen back. This is displaying things in a similar sort of way as you'd expect to see on the other screens I've already shown you. It will show your order of results as per your settings, so relevancy or collection or whatever you've picked. And you'll see that search results page shows the title, and it shows the collection, a preview image, and also an indicator of what format the item is in. And basically, to look at more detail, you just tap on the image or on the record there, just in the, you can see it sort of alternates between grey and white backgrounds, so anywhere in that kind of panel of grey or panel of white. If you tap there, you can go through to the record and view it with a high resolution image usually. Listen to the audio file, and you can view the video in full. One thing I would say is that we do strongly recommend that if you're going to view lots and lots of videos, you do this on a Wi-Fi connection. or make sure that you have a data package that you're happy to do that with, because although we've tried to be quite clever about how much data they use, you may not want to be chewing up all of your data allowance on previewing sort of 10 videos in a row or something. But you can do all of that from within the app. You can do the previewing of audio, images or video. So I mentioned you can tap on a record several times now. This is what you'll see when you tap on a record. You'll see the title of the record, you'll see the preview image at the top, and if you tap on that you can then view the video if it's a video, play the audio if it's an audio clip, or see a slightly high resolution or very high resolution image depending on what's available from the collection. At the bottom you'll see the name of the collection. Oh, I've just done the touchscreen is very throwing me, I'm very gesticulating. And you can see details, so it'll show you that it's a still image, the date it was created, a description, and when you scroll on the screen it will also say add to favourites. And when you favourite an item in the app, like I mentioned, it will show up in your favourites list when you go back to the website. And similarly, anything that you favorited on the website will show up in your favourites list on the app, which is actually really quite useful if you're trying to kind of build up a combination of stuff for a course or for a particular presentation. So basically it means you can roam around the city, whatever, picking out the things that you want to use, and then use that kind of odd bit of 10 minutes on a bus or 20 minutes on a train or something a little bit more productively than trying to sort of work out what you might go and search for when you get to your desk. That's our hope. That's where we think it'll be particularly useful. So I mentioned you can also share items from within the app. So to do that, you click on the familiar, hopefully, if you use iOS, sharing item in the top right-hand corner. That's the sort of box with an arrow pointing out of it. And when you tap on that, you can share either via email or via phone messaging, and that will be a link to the item and some information about it. And it'll include a little preview image as well, so if you're trying to sort of share it via email to yourself, for instance, you'll have some idea of what the content looks like because of that little preview image.
It's an image, it's a fair size, it's a bit
yeah.
actually, yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's still a preview size, but it's a pretty chunky preview size. So you'll know what the different content is when you pick for your email. Or if you're sharing it with a colleague to sort of say, I think we should use this one. You know. And if you want to sort of do that sharing, you can also add items to your reading list or to print the record, that sort of stuff. At the moment, social sharing, so Facebook, Twitter, things like that, are not enabled, but we hope to do that at some point in the future. But at the moment, it's email and phone messaging and reading list and print record, because we think those are probably the most likely to be useful, at least initially. So live demo time, which is not going to be a live demo because my computer is refusing to play ball with my phone, so it's going to be an almost live demo via video. So the good thing is this means I can show you the video that we've got in the service. So if you want to use this video, you are very welcome to embed this in your own virtual learning environment on your library webpage. If you want to download a copy, if that isn't already enabled, we're very happy to send you a link to it. I think you should be able to download it anyway. So I'm going to play a wee video.
This short video will show you what you can do within your meeting.
That's Bit's lovely voice there. So this will just show the process of going in and logging in. So as I mentioned, there's a login button on the front page when you go in. You tap on that, and once you're logged in, you can do the browsing. So again, just showing you the favourites and most popular, and we'll run through also the screens that I've just told you about. So while that video sort of runs and you have a wee look at it, let me know if any questions are coming up that it's sort of from seeing the screen in action, or if you've got any questions about how it works. That would be great. I welcome all questions. So you can see here that we was demonstrating how large the sort of large-scale images are that you can preview, and the Add to Favorites link. And you can see that when you log in to add things to favourites the first time, you need to agree to our Grapevine service terms and conditions. This is not like Spotify, they're quite reasonable terms and conditions. They're just to sort of explain that the bookmarking system is slightly outside of MediaHub, so you just approve them once and then you're set. So here she's showing off searching. She's certainly gotten very fast in the video. So she's looking for millwork in Britain in the 1980s. And you can see it's showing how many results are found, and that will update if you change the search terms as well, as is being shown off.
I think when I was doing this, I was trying to explain that, you know, try and have quite tailored keywords.
Yeah.
To try and reduce the result set, and phrase searching works really well to get a
phrase searching does work really well.
Increase your relevancy.
Yeah, because that applies on the web service as well as on the app. But on the app, you don't have the same kind of screen estate, so picking out exactly what it is you're looking for is often more useful than scrolling through them all. Yeah, I think always pick the most specific search terms you can think of. So here they're showing off the different search settings, and these little red boxes that are on the video, those are just to demonstrate what's being highlighted at any given moment. But hopefully this means that if you're showing this video to users, to colleagues, they can get a sense of where they tap for which thing. So here she's doing searching by location, she's adding a location, and she's just zooming out on the map. She's going to go international. There we go. And she's choosing a label for the location on the map that she wants to add. So you can add the labels. So she's typed Vietnam, but you could type in, I don't know, you could type in the name of a building, you could type in a particular news event, you could make it whatever label makes most sense to you, so that when you want to go back and reuse that location in the future, you just need to sort of tap on it and you've got a label that makes sense to you. So you can see that that search has been based in 500 miles of Vietnam, so she got 2 results back because it was very specific. And here she's showing off the sharing features. I suppose one of the other options that's worth noting is, of course, once you are looking at a particular item, you can also open it up in your web browser if that's useful to do from your app as well. So if you want to have a sort of look at how the screen would appear on your main desktop computer or whatever, you've got some chance to do that. So that's the wee kind of walkthrough. I'm terribly sorry that wasn't live. We've every time we try and do a live demo and we do it for some kind of video recording or something where there's no one around, it works fine. And as soon as there's attendees, the computer gets very shy. But hopefully I'll give you a sense of what it's like to use the app. The Android app is going to be along very similar lines. It's going to function in a way that makes sense for Android, but it's going to have much of the same functionality. So I'm just going to tap through. So what can't you do with the app? Probably worth noting. You can't download the MediaHub content on the app to your phone. That's partly because it would very quickly take up half of your phone. But because you can favourite things in the app and it'll be saved to MediaHub, when you next log into the web version, you can go and download it in whichever of the formats you want, and you get the full choice of, you know, what size you want and how you want to download it, and then you can use it in your virtual learning environment, in your presentation, wherever it is you're wanting to use it. I mentioned you can share via email and mobile messaging, but social media sharing isn't there yet, but we hope it'll be there in a future release. And at the moment, as I mentioned, you can only search the JISC collections content with a limited range of external content. For medically restricted content, or the full range of external content, we ask that you use the web version of MediaHub, and the medically restricted collections, if you're in one of the organisations that subscribes to those, that's the kind of quite obvious to privacy reasons we've chosen not to make it available in the app at all. I think it would just be somehow inappropriate to be watching the stuff that we've medically restricted on a bus, for instance. So there's a lot of, we just thought it was much more sensible to keep those to the web version, sort of privacy and appropriateness reasons, really. So if you are wanting to use the app, there's a lot of help and support available, which hopefully covers a lot of the kind of questions you might have. You can use any part of our introductory blog post. We have videos and images as part of that. You're welcome to reuse any of that, like steal the text, borrow the images, you know, for your own help and support pages, that's fine. We have that video guide that I've already shown you, and you're welcome to view that in the service. So that's in our, you can see in the help section in the video guides. So you can point your users towards that with that link. You can also view it on YouTube, where you might be able to download it from, but as I mentioned, if you want a copy of it to download and then put in your own VLE or whatever, then just let us know. We can make sure that you've got a link to download it. Our help and support guide does include the iOS app, and you can find it. A help and support guide, this is a very thorough one. It's very, very large, but very, very detailed. So some of the page references are useful. So the iOS app is on page 81, but there's information within the help pages in the actual website as well. And you can also access a recording of our previous webinar, where we tried to do a live demo and it went much worsely wrong than it did this week. So if you want to entertain yourself, you can have a look at that, but we'll make a recording of this one available too. And if there's anything else in terms of questions or requests for other types of help and support, then just drop us an email. We'll be more than happy to see what we can do to help you promote this to your users, to your colleagues. Just let us know what would be useful. So I wanted to ask you how you think you might use this app in your own teaching and learning. I mean, generally, we're very keen to see some comments and find out what you're doing. And we are particularly looking out for any case studies about how you're using the app in your organisation. And if you are using it and you think it's really useful and you're happy to shout about that and show off your wonderful practice, then let us know and we'll be in touch and have a chat with you about how we can highlight it. I would ask that if you are downloading the app and you find it useful, please do leave us a review or a rating on the App Store, because that will help other people find it, including your students, including your colleagues. And if you do want to kind of talk about what you're doing with your learning and teaching, you can just tweet stuff with the mobile MediaHub hashtag, or you can just let us know about any blog posts or web pages you put up for staff, and we're very happy to help you highlight those and help you promote those. So just to let you know that you can do all of those things. I think I've got a little poll coming up about teaching and learning anyway, but it might be a little bit later on, if I remember rightly. A bit later on. Okay, so if any of you got any questions or any comments right away about how you might use the iOS app in your teaching and learning or to support colleagues doing teaching and learning, then please just give us a shout out in the chat just now, or by all means ask a question afterwards. I'm going to give you a few minutes while I have a sip of tea if that's a moment, so that you can just let us know if you've got. Okay.
There's nothing app specific, just someone asking about the slides and recording, which we'll send tomorrow.
Okay, yes, we will indeed. So yes, the slides and the recording will be out tomorrow. Okay. Now, I know that a number of you answered earlier that you had Android devices, and we know from our previous webinar and from talking about the app through the summer, because it only got released in July, so we've had a couple of months to kind of tell people about it. That quite a lot of people are very keen to see the Android app, and that is in development literally as I speak. My colleague Neil downstairs is coding it. And so that should be ready by, I think, winter 2015. I think we had it down as autumn, but things have been delayed a little bit. So we're hoping it will be out sort of late November, early December. But we'll let you know as soon as it is via all kind of normal channels. But if you want to be specially alerted, then drop us an email and let us know, and we'll make sure an email comes out to you right away. And then you can see that the Android app is released. And in fact, if you want to get like super early stuff and you're happy to test it, let us know, I guess, because we would always be grateful for previewers and testers as well. Future multimedia plans, we've got WePoll open, some people already answering, which is brilliant. We're currently considering how we provide multimedia content in general, and we'd love to have a chance to chat about MediaHub, but also how you're using images for video and sound in your organisation.
Okay, so we've had a good response rate, but most people are saying not at the moment.
Not at the moment, that's fine. So I think at this point I'm going to hand over to you for your questions, if you have any. I hope those of you that haven't had a chance to download it, or maybe don't have the right kind of device to download it at the moment, has this been helpful for at least giving you an overview of what the app can do and enabling you to kind of maybe help out people who come to you with questions about it or who want to try it out? How soon will the social media sharing be available? I hope fairly soon, but it's something that we'll need to look at basically once the Android app is a little further along, because that has our priority at the moment. But it will certainly be something we're looking into fairly briskly. The other thing that is to be said is that if you, in the meantime, to work around that sharing, you could always open it up in Safari and then share from there with any social media apps that you've built into your, because if you're using, I don't know, Twitter or something on your phone, then you'll be able to sort of tweet directly from the browser. Okay. Someone is looking, Neil is looking for ways to use it to engage staff in using the resource as it's currently underutilised. I like the frowny face. Yes, it should be more utilised with a smiley face. I think what would be really useful is to point out that they can do that kind of searching and discovery of resources while they're on the move, because I think with the schedules that a lot of academic staff will have, I did a bit of teaching myself, it's quite useful to be able to use little gaps in the day when you're not otherwise able to prepare teaching materials to pull stuff together. I always think the best way of publicising what a good resource MediaHub is to talk about the content and how it's relevant to the particular individual group that you're talking to. There are so many really interesting pieces of content in there, some really lovely collections, that it's usually very easy to find something that's really compelling and interesting and useful for teaching and learning. And so I think probably the best way, if you've got, a member of staff that should be using it, and you can have any idea of what their kind of work is on, or you can ask them what their work is on, almost certainly you can find them something that's really excellent in there, and I think that's a good hook to get them interested and looking around. I hope that the app will be helpful as a sort of addition to that, to help them find stuff more easily, to help them discover things more easily. But if there are other things that we can do to help you make that case, to help make the service more compelling to your colleagues, then we welcome suggestions, or we welcome suggestions of what doesn't work and why. So if there's something about the kind of materials that we produce, so our blog posts are very much intended to highlight the collections and highlight how they might be used. We pick different themes that we think will be of interest to the very particular kinds of disciplines we know find it most useful, find MediaHub most useful. But if there's a particular topic that you'd like to see a blog post on, or you think your academic colleagues might be lured into using the service to write us a guest post, even to highlight their own work, that would be fine. Just let us know. I hope that helps a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're just running out of time at the moment in terms of how much we had scheduled, so I'm quite happy to answer any other questions that anyone might have. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Neil. And thank you to all who asked questions, by the way. I didn't sort of quote all of your names there because they're wrapping in the screen in little funny ways, but thank you also to Tracy and Mohammed, I think, and a few other people. Yes. So officially, I'm going to just move on to, I think, the last slide, asking you how you found the webinar.
Yes, he's asking about the fact you can't download the videos, but can you stream them?
Yes, you can stream the videos. We've done some quite clever work behind the scenes that is not at all evident when you look at it, but yes, we've done some work to make sure that they stream really nicely through the app, so you can actually view any of the videos that you can find through it. You can tap on the, when you go into the individual record page, that little video that I played of Viv demonstrating the app, and she clicked on a still image of those archaeological remains in Pakistan. If you tap on an image and it's for a video, the preview image will then become the streaming version of the video.
I've published the poll responses so that they're all positive.
Fantastic. Oh, that's very good. So just to finish off, just to give you a quick overview of what's happening next. So I've mentioned the Android app a couple of times and that we think it should be out sort of late November, early December. I'm calling that winter 2015 because it still seems like it's just about summer to me at the moment. So late autumn, early winter. We'll be sharing some highlights from the recent survey that ran on MediaHub on the blog. We hope to have that out fairly quickly just to give you an overview of the responses we had. We've also got some recent developments that have come out, and you can find those in our development roadmap. That sort of is part of the service. You can also find it on the blog. One thing that you might have missed recently, which I hope you'll find really useful in your organisations, is to have a look at our usage reports that went live in July. So you can now have a look at usage that's either across all of MediaHub, depending on the report, or specific to your organisation, your university, your college. And that will help you get a chance to see who's using it for what and what kind of collections they're using. We hope those are very useful, but we really welcome your feedback on those because those are super new out. Those have been out for, I think, less than a month now. So any feedback on that would be wonderful. We're also happy to run more webinars, presentations, create new support videos, whatever's useful. Just let us know what you'd like and we'll do our best to do that. And I think that's my last slide. Is that another question there?
Just someone who was trying to save an image and bookmark it but couldn't, but I advised to go to the bottom and look at,
it's done.
Use the app favorites and it's done, so that's great.
I was going to say, I think the app, once you've used it the first time and you've tried doing all of the tasks once, is then very easy to use. Just finding the right parts of the screen, that video is quite helpful for those. So if you have any, if you're trying it out for the first time, that's a good thing to point people at because that will show you which bits of screen you use for which things. Okay.
Thanks for trying it out.
Thank you so much for trying it out, yes. And that, yes, is my last slide. I'm just checking with my own, check myself. So if there are any last questions or comments, that's absolutely fine. I'm very happy to answer those and hang out here. But I know that some of you will want to get away fairly promptly. So thank you so much for coming along today and asking really good questions and taking part. and I hope that the app was useful. We would love to hear how it's being used and how your colleagues are using it, and any feedback that you have would be wonderful.